Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Buffalo Sports Talk of Western New York. I'm Tom Hastings. This is my partner, Tom Joyce. Winter has made a return here to Western New York. It's snowing a little bit out there, but that's okay because today we're going to be talking about the Winter Olympics and the exciting game that we watched yesterday between the men's hockey team, Canada, and the USA. One of the most exciting games I ever watched in sports, Tom. Before we do that, though, if I can just ask you real quickly to give us a like and a subscribe and leave us a comment down below. Hey, talk to us about anything you want to talk to us about. Give us a comment about our shows. Give us some ideas of some shows you'd like us to do, some stuff you'd like us to talk about. You can even criticize us if you want to. We got thick skin. We're from Buffalo.
Not too bad.
No, well, be gentle on Tommy. I don't care what you say about me. All right, man. We're going to talk about that hockey game that we watched yesterday. Tommy, I was looking forward to this game way more so than I was the Super Bowl. I know you didn't even watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I, for some reason, thought the game was starting at 10, and we had a late show on Saturday night. And my wife woke me up at 7:30 in the morning, like shaking me. Tom, the game's going to start, and I'm like, what? You know, but like I love getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning and watching hockey. It was awesome.
Yeah, I had a difficult time sleeping the night before. Actually, I was anticipating the game so much, and I was just on pins and needles throughout the game. And it was a great contest. Two teams giving it all. It was a game that I think that anyone who watched is going to remember for the rest of their life, and especially the ending, one of those all-time dramatic and great moments in sports history.
It really was. It's going to live on for forever. You know, the Olympics as a whole, I thought I just enjoyed watching them this year. It was just so much fun. USA ends up breaking a record for the U.S. With 33 medals total and 12 gold. Yeah. And they came in second to Norway, who had 41 total medals and 18 gold. Yeah. So way to go, USA, all around, all the sports. Before we talk about that game yesterday, let's talk about the women's hockey team, Tom.
Yeah, that was. I watched every game of that tournament, and that was so exciting to watch because those ladies just were in a class by themselves, and they just dominated their opponents. It's so great to see the skating, the passing. It was so sharp. So much open ice with the ladies out there, more so than the men. And I think they really added to the excitement of the games. And I think that the women's hockey is going to get a huge infusion of interest and talent as a result of that game because they were really remarkable, and it was so much fun to watch them.
Yeah, I never thought that I was going to get so invested in women's hockey.
Right.
But I watched every game as well, and it was just exciting and a lot of fun. And think about it. What's going on in Canada today, man? Like both the women and the men end up getting the gold. I honestly didn't think that the men's team was going to get the gold. I had a feeling the women were because they were just so dominant. Yeah. But when we talk about the men's hockey for a minute, the Canada kind of almost snuck into that last game. They really struggled in the finals before that, and they almost lost that. What was it with 2 seconds or only seconds left? They scored the game winner.
If you go back and look at it, to be totally fair, they were completely offsides on that game-winning goal against Finland. The replay, showed that and proved that. So, they came in, but I think even given that, they were the favorite. Just look at the talent on that team, and Americans were able to fight through that and come away with the victory. And, again, going back to women, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like that in terms of goaltending. So, Bethany Frankel, the American goaltender, gave up 2 goals in 7 games. Put that in perspective. That's 2 goals in 420 minutes of play. That's crazy.
Well, when you want to talk about goaltending, you got to talk about Connor Hellebuyck. He is the MVP for the men on that. He just played an amazing game. And the thing that was crazy about that, it was 46 years to the date of the Miracle on Ice. Yeah. And it was just, I had a debate with somebody on my Facebook page about because I said that this may be one of the most exciting hockey games or sporting events that I've ever witnessed in my life. And the person I was debating and talking to online was saying, no, the 80 team, that was much more impressive because they weren't pros and they were playing the pros of Russia, and that was exciting. But that was, no one's going to take away anything from the Miracle on Ice. It was absolutely one of the most amazing sporting events of all time. Taking place in Lake Placid. I went there on our honeymoon. Diane and I went, and there's still a feeling 40 some years later of magic when you go there. And just it was no one's going to argue that that wasn't amazing. But it's just that the athletes now are just so different. They're so better. They're so much faster.
The training.
It's a different sport now.
Yeah.
And watching that game yesterday, it was almost like watching someone play a video game. It was just up and down the ice, so fast, so exciting. There wasn't a dull moment in the game time.
Yeah, and I think that Hellebuck just that save, stick save, will go down in history as one of the great saves of all time in hockey. And he was able to get that stick back there and deflect that shot. And that was really an incredible moment, I think. And at that moment, I kind of got the feeling, okay, this is destiny for the U.S. to win.
Wow.
They dodged that bullet. They can do anything.
Well, that's the optimism that you show. Me, I was basically saying they can't just keep giving up these points. It's going to end up biting them at the end. And when it came down to near the end of the game and it was 5-on-3, I'm like, oh, there's no way we're going to be able to survive this, And I wish that we could show you guys highlights, but for some reason I can't show highlights of the Olympics on our channel. YouTube just won't let me. So I wish we could show some highlights because there were so many classic plays that bring us to, it's 1-1 going into overtime. What are your thoughts about that 3-on-3?
I don't think anyone who loves hockey is crazy about it. But at the same time, it really allows the skill guys to shine. I mean, there's not as much clogging up the neutral zone, and the guys who really have the ability to skate and pass are given their opportunity to really display their skills. So I get it that people don't think that, a game should be decided 3-on-3, but let's face it, both teams have the same advantages and disadvantages. Right. No one has an advantage in that. You could argue that Canadians actually had the advantage because of the quality of their skaters, But I think one thing it does, it kind of guarantees an early end of the game. These 3-on-3 isn't going to go on indefinitely the way a 5-on-5 or even a 4-on-4 can do. We tend to see these overtimes end pretty quickly when it's 3-on-3.
Well, I think we get bogged down sometime in tradition.
Yeah.
And we say, oh, no, this isn't the way it's done in the NHL or whatever, but this isn't the NHL, number one. Yeah. This is something different. It's a different tournament, different rules. Every team, as you mentioned, has to follow those rules, and it's a fair, it's a fair shot. Yeah. I know the Canadian coach was complaining about it, but here's the thing, Guy. You had 5-on-3 in regulation, and you guys didn't get it done. Yeah. There was 2 or 3 breakaways that they had. They didn't get it done. They had their opportunity, and they didn't do it. Yeah. And when it came down to it, Jack Hughes just makes an amazing shot. Yeah. And I was shocked. I mean, I didn't expect USA to win. And when that goal went in, I was shocked. It almost felt like a Bills Super Bowl win or a Sabres Stanley Cup win. Yeah. I had goosebumps.
Yeah, I leapt literally right off of my chair. And, that was a great shot. But, to give credit to Werenski, he just made McDavid look like a turnstile on that pass, on that assist. He just skated through and shrugged off Canada's best player.
Well, and we got to have some pride in our Tage Thompson. He had 3 goals in the tournament. He almost scored in that game, in the gold medal game. Yeah. I thought he played great, and he did Buffalo proud, and now he's going to bring his gold medal back to us here in Buffalo. On Wednesday, the Sabres are back in action against the Devils, so we actually get to play Jack Hughes. So that's going to be interesting. I believe the game's in Jersey too.
And to see him, lose teeth, then come out and score the goal, and then afterwards, the interview right to the point. I'm so proud to be American. I love our country. I love our team. I love our unity. It was just so uplifting. In one thing we see here with these American victories with the women and the men's team is a really fractured country coming together. And there was no Republicans or Democrats. There was no liberals or conservatives. It was Americans rooting for Americans. We need more of that, and that's the greatness of sports, especially the Olympics.
Right. Well, there were some that tried to make it a political event, and that's always going to happen. But the bottom line is love for your country, and USA isn't about one man or one administration or two parties. It's about everyone,
Right.
and. There's nothing wrong to have disagreements with each other about certain things, but being able to come together with pride in country overall.
Right.
And that's something that the Olympics is all about, and something that game's all about. Do I agree with everything that's going on in our country and our world? Hell no. But I love this country, and I was rooting for my country to win, and it was an amazing moment, one that I'll carry with me the rest of my life. I'll never forget it. It was a great moment, and a great moment in sport, and a great moment to be an American.
Yeah, and Bethany Frankel, or excuse me, Hannah Keller, when she scored that goal, and she got up from the ice, and just that sheer joy of throwing her stick and her gloves into the air, and the look of complete and utter happiness across her face. It was
you can read their lips saying "I love you," and
then 5 days later we saw it again with the exact same thing with the Americans, and those are moments that again that's the magic of sports, and that shows us people. We talked before about the Olympics. These are individuals who work their entire lives
right.
for that moment. And I'm not a hockey dad, but I know a lot of them, and that is a commitment. And all these men and women that represent the U.S. came from families that up before dawn, in cold rinks at 6 a.m. and playing at 11 o'clock at night and then going to school the next day. I know how it works with hockey, youth hockey. It's a real commitment for the families, and I feel so good for the players and their families that all those years of sacrifice and hard work to pay off in one magical moment.
Right. My brother-in-law, we have that in our family. His son is in a hockey league, and he's also in traveling baseball league. Yeah. So he's really, we try to get together. When are we going to have dinner or go to a Sabre game or go? We went the last time we went out, I believe, was we went to who was the Buffalo the lacrosse.
Bandits.
The Bandits. We went to the championship game. That's the last time we've gone out together because he's constantly on the run with his son, and good for him. He actually even gave up his Buffalo Bills season tickets because they interfered with the schedule going on. So he's dedicated his whole life to making sure his son can play these sports, and we see that in the Olympics. These young athletes that dedicate their whole life, their whole being to this one special moment, and when it happens for them, it's just an amazing sight to see. Yeah. And when they lose or something bad, say with the skiers, they fall or a jump doesn't work out, it's just devastating.
Yeah.
And we saw all that in this Olympics. It was I can't remember the last time I've really focused on the Olympics as much as I did this year. And I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, and I think that it came at a time when people needed a distraction.
Yeah,
and
maybe that's it.
Our team's doing so well and making us so proud. Not just hockey team, but as you mentioned, the figure skaters and everyone
all
else.
Of them.
Just really giving their heart out, and the whole country being able to get behind them. And I think these are Olympics that people are never going to forget. Particularly, as you said, the two hockey games, obviously.
Right.
And the heroes of those games will live on in sports lore forever.
Yeah. It's just an amazing thing to talk about, to witness. I'm just so happy for it. Just a great time. So, but now we put the Olympics behind us, and the Buffalo Sabres and the NHL are back. As I said, the Sabres start back up again on Wednesday against the Devils. It's going to be an exciting time. Tommy, now they were on a little bit of a skid before the Olympics.
Yeah.
What are your feelings before we take off with Table Talk? Before we finish up, what are your
Well, again,
thoughts?
I think they could go either way. I mean, we could see a rejuvenated team, happy for the time away from the ice, more time with the family, let some scrapes and bruises heal, and then get back out there, determined to get back on the winning ways. Or we could see a team that maybe has kind of lost some of that consistency. I think it might be a combination of both. But either way, it's a team that's still got a lot of talent. Still got a team that's still got a lot of drive behind them, and I think they're going to be okay in the long run. It's just this final push to the playoffs. It's all about keeping healthy.
Right, and I think they have the talent on there. Like I said, we mentioned the last Table Talk. I really just want to, if they don't make any other move other than keeping Tuck, I'll be happy. Keep the team together and make that push. I think, we faltered a little bit, but they were on such a roll. They're not going to win every game. I totally expect them to get back on board this next week and start winning again. I think that little break is going to be good for them.
Good.
So that's my thought. That's my prediction. And next week on Table Talk, we'll have some highlights of Sabres action for you, and we'll talk more about the Sabres. And we'll, if there's any Bills news that comes out, we'll cover that as well. I know the Combine's starting up, and they'll be interviewing some players and with that. So if anything interesting happens during that time, we'll cover that as well. But we're going to be focused a lot on the Sabres with Table Talk next week. If I can give you guys a quick advertisement, be looking out for us this Wednesday for our Let's Talk show. We are going to be doing a special on Evel Knievel, Tommy, and I can't wait to do that show. I've been so excited getting information out, reading up on Evel and getting ready to talk about him. I can't wait for that.
Absolutely.
It's going to be great. So I think we added a few more subscribers this week. I thank you guys for that. But really, if you could do us that favor and comment down below, talk with us, that really would help the channel out. Every time you leave a comment, it helps us out. And I'll try to get back to you with answer your comments as best as I can as well. We want to build this as a community for local sports talk. We're not professional. We say that all the time. This is a channel for fans, made by fans. We're not slick. We don't have great production values. We're sitting at a table talking, hence the name Table Talk. And we just love doing this. It's a chance for us to connect and keep with our friendship and talk about stuff that we love so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed Table Talk this week. Tommy, any final thoughts about the Olympics before we go?
I think that Americans can look at these Olympics and say, American hockey is rising to better heights than ever before. It's going to encourage more young people to take up the sport, and I think the future is nothing but golden for American hockey from this point on.
I can't say it any better than that, Tom. So that's going to do it for Table Talk this week. Join us again next week when we talk about the Sabres. Again, same time, Monday afternoon. This will be out. And Wednesday, we will have our Let's Talk again, Evel Knievel. Can't wait for that. Give us some ideas for some other shows you'd like us to do, especially for the Let's Talk. We did the NWF, and thank you. Now the NWF show, the National Wrestling Federation show we did about Johnny Powers, is our most viewed video since we started this channel. We've done shows on the Super Bowl Buffalo Bills. We did that last week. Tommy, you did the Buffalo Norseman show. That was awesome. We talked about the hiring of Joe Brady, the new coach, or the firing of Sean McDermott. So we've had some decent shows, but if you guys have any ideas of something you'd like us to talk about, either on Table Talk or on Let's Talk, I'd love to hear it from you. So give us some ideas. But until then, guys, have a good rest of your week. Check us out on Wednesday, and go USA!